I talked to a lawyer that was very close to this case, and what he said was, this is really a domestic violence case that has just blown up into a RICO and sex trafficking and so forth. But at the heart of it, that's really what it is. It's really domestic violence.
And I'll throw the arson in there, however.
There's that, yeah, with Kid Cudi.
So those two things, I would, based on what I've seen and heard and read, if it were a state case, yeah, I'd get him on the arson and on the multiple cases of assaulting women. Yes, I would.
Right, but he's not charged for that in the feds.
That's correct, not at all. Huh. So the big one y'all could get him on is over for that.
Okay, so according to Judge Mathis, who's an actual real judge, he thinks one count of transportation to engage in prostitution, or possibly multiple counts, depending on what it is, those are all 1 to 10 charges, and you think the judge will throw the book at him and give him 10?
Yes. I hope not, because I don't know if that's a fair sentence. I don't know if I'm not sure if the code, the U.S. code sentencing requirements are too stiff for flying in a prostitute to have sex with. You can get up to 10 years. That doesn't sound appropriate.
That sounds crazy.
Right.
That sounds absolutely crazy.
I hope he doesn't over-sentence him to compensate for other things, because I would suspect that depending on the number of times, even if it was the different various prostitutes, 3 acts, 4 acts, that 4 acts of tricking 4 times shouldn't get you 10 years.
Tricking get you 10 years. Tricking will get you 10. What you here for, dog? Tricking.
That's right.
How would you get 10 years?
Right.
Damn, how would you trick?
Right.
God damn. I'm sorry, baby. I can't buy you those tickets. That's sex trafficking.
Right,
you know, you got to fly yourself out.
Correct.
Can't take you shopping. That would be engaging in prostitution.
Can't sell you money because it's interstate commerce. And the banking system controlled by the Fed, so that's a federal act.
Yeah.
Can't even send money to a stripper you had the other night.
Oh, man. You just can't be a man anymore. Look, I interviewed Roger Bonds, who was Diddy's head of security for like 10 years. And he said on at least 5 different occasions, he would take Diddy to go meet with Trump. And they would hang out in that office for 3 to 4 hours. He'd be waiting outside with Trump security. And, he would also, even though Diddy lived like 2 blocks away from the Trump Hotel in New York, in Columbus Circle, he would always go over there. He would always use those hotel rooms and so forth. So him and Trump kind of have a real connection.
Yeah, from what I'm told, they come together and read the Bible.
Read the Bible. Right. God knows what they were doing in that room.
With a little holy oil.
But what I think is the real game plan is that Diddy assumes he's going to lose. And if it's more than time served or a year or so, he's going to get Trump to pardon him. That's what I think will happen. Trump has already pardoned Larry Hoover, NBA Youngboy, Kodak Black, Lil Wayne. Why not Diddy?
Because the public didn't see the videotapes of Lil Wayne, of Larry Hoover. The public, that's not going to leave the mind of the public. And he will have a lot of women turn on him and therefore turn on the Republican Party when the 2-year election comes for Congress from now.
Well, I have 5 words to respond to that. Grab them by the pussy.
Yeah. And they still
voted him
in. And 22
on his first term.
Yeah, and I think he had 22 allegations, and he's been convicted before he won the second term. He had been convicted.
So I'm just saying, I understand the angle you're using here, but when it comes to Trump, I don't think he cares.
Doesn't have to run again, and
he
he's
doesn't
not running
care
what people think about him.
Exactly. On the last day, I think on the last day, if not earlier, Diddy's going to walk free.
Oh, yeah. I think that by that time he would, but I think that there's some other political considerations for the entire Republican Party if he pardons him anytime before the election 2 years from now, the congressional elections.
Fair enough.